So I've done videos before explaining how real estate is a scam. I've described the players, the con artists in real estate, which would be the real estate developers and investors who drive up the value of the property for people, making it harder for people to afford real estate. I've also touched a little bit on about the con artists known as the banks and their role that they play in it, where they could easily be selling these fixer-uppers to people who actually wanted to live in the house for a lot cheaper, but they don't because it's all about making money. Now I want to just dive a little bit into the main con that the banks perpetrate when it comes to real estate. People in the banks want people who can't afford to buy houses to buy houses. And here's the biggest reason why. If you get someone who can fully afford a house, let's say you have a house for $400,000, and someone comes along and they have $400,000 cash on the table, they still have to go through the banking system and the mortgage and all of that. But the very next day after everything is closed, they can just flat out pay for the house. And the bank will make no money. None. Because there's no interest being paid along with the actual loan. And this is how the bank makes money off of real estate. You get a person who could barely afford to buy a house You get them a mortgage for $400,000. They're making their monthly payments for 30 years. They're paying off interest every single month. After the 30 years is up, by the time that person can be free and clear of that mortgage, of that $400,000 loan, they would have paid close to $800,000 from a $400,000 loan. Ladies and gentlemen, if that's not a con from a con artist, then it's definitely illegal criminal activity from a loan shark. There's so many things that's wrong with real estate, it's ridiculous. And I am going to keep putting these videos out. And the reason I'm going to do this is because I want life to be more affordable for everyone. Everyone. And I'm not really sure why everybody doesn't want the same thing. Because what we need to do is not like some politicians tell you, which is raise the minimum wage. Raising minimum wage does absolutely nothing if the cost of living goes up twice as fast. If you really wanted to help the poor, the middle class, small businesses, if you just wanted to help people in general, especially the minority community, the blacks, the Hispanics, Asians, etc., etc. The answer is to lower the cost of living. If you make life more affordable for people, people actually would put more money into the economy because they'd be able to save money. And more people would be able to do things like buy a brand new car, go on a vacation, buy the latest gadget, whatever it may be. So basically, I'm trying to help you people, not just make your lives better and more affordable, but make my life better and more affordable, because you have people out there who don't seem to understand. Just because you can afford something doesn't mean you should buy it. If you go to the grocery store and you go, oh, Milk is $5 a gallon. No big deal. I can afford that. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. But you know what? There are people behind you that can't afford $5 a gallon for milk. And they need that milk too. You are setting the price for the poor people behind you. And if we could just stop being so greedy and so selfish and so stupid, we could fix a lot of the world's problems. Unfortunately, one person can't do it. It takes a group. And I do these videos just, it's more of a therapy session for me because these things really just run around my head. And to be honest with you, human beings fascinate the hell out of me. I have so many questions, so many things that I don't understand. And this is definitely the biggest thing I don't understand. Think about the people behind you. To me, this is not a foreign concept. There are other people in this world besides you. Think about them for a second. It doesn't take much for anyone in this world to fall. Anyone in this world can be priced out of their home at any point in time. I had someone send me a tweet saying that New York City was no place for poor people. And this was one of the most selfish things I've ever heard in my life. And if you don't understand why this is such a selfish thing, then you really need to take a better look at yourself. I'm just here pointing out things that I see, asking questions that I want answers to. But in all seriousness, I know these videos aren't going to change anything, because in order for these things to change, it's going to take the entire world to do it. Or a good majority of the world anyway. So, if you want to live in this expensive, extremely racist and divided world, just keep doing what you're doing.